Philly Sports, Love and Pain. I'm Dave. That's Kenny.
Hi.
And we are back. Fresh off of a fucking whole week of corona filled vacation
Dave had Rona.
again.
I have had this sickness for 3 months.
It's probably Rona.
I don't know. I keep testing it. It's negative, negative, negative.
I think if you have long COVID, you don't actually test positive anymore.
Oh, is that what we're calling? We're calling it long COVID, short COVID, in between COVID, COVID my nuts.
Which COVID do you have? Long, medium, or
You know what's funny is like you'll go like 4 or 5 days and you're like, I feel good.
extra tall?
And then one morning I woke up the other day and I was like,
It just keeps coming, man.
And I was like, oh my God, take me. Jesus, take the wheel.
So yeah, the Corona, it sucks. We're here again, and last Christmas break it was the same thing.
Yeah.
But this too shall pass. We made it out of it pretty good, and hopefully everything's done with that until the next strain, and then here we go again. Round and round we go. But let's just first off say, there's some crazy shit that went down last night on Monday Night Football. We are absolutely 100% not going to spend time trying to elaborate on any of it because
it was a 1 in a billion situation is all I'll say.
All I'm going to say is that there's a lot of people who think that they got doctor certificates hanging on their walls.
My God. It was the vaccine. That's my favorite one going right now.
It's just so ridiculous. So
it's literally a 1 in a billion chance. And that doesn't take anything away from, the situation.
You are also making an assumption right now, Kenny.
What?
You don't know what happened.
Yes, we do.
No, you don't. You don't know if he had a
blunt trauma to the heart wall in the rhythmic area.
Oh, you are just going down the road.
I'm just saying that's exactly what happened.
Wrong words and terms and all.
Whatever. Blow these fucking nuts.
But listen, man, seriously, prayers to the dude. I mean, I hope he recovers, and I hope he has full function. I hope everything's good. I mean, that's
we're hoping for the best, and we're gonna leave all the other fucking bullshit with this behind.
Jesus, seriously.
Okay? Just shut the fuck up.
So
all right?
let's move on to the disastrous.
But the cool thing is $3.5 million to the
charity.
To his charity, cool. Which is kind of shitty. It has to come through this way.
I know.
But God willing, we'll all be talking about him in a week or two and all the good news, and he'll be good to go. So Saints really fucked us, huh?
Well,
Dave got his wish, people. Dave got his wish.
For a game that was can't lose it. It's impossible. Can't lose to the Saints. They can't beat us. No way.
Woof.
No way in the world.
I would argue that Andy Dalton didn't beat us.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he didn't? What was he, 12 for 12 there in the fucking first half?
Yeah, I mean, the first half was not good. Listen, Taysom Hill is an Eagles killer.
He is, and that I don't know what it is about it. The defense, I will say, the defense did adjust.
Tread lightly.
They made adjustments, and they didn't keep playing the same zone, and they did make some changes.
I'm 100% with you.
One of the problems is that this defense is not deep, and it's not as deep as we thought. Because now it's being the secondary.
Well, I mean, Jesus fucking Christ!
Well, I know
what do you want a stable?
It is what it is. No, I know it's just
it's impossible.
They are suffering from injuries right now, and it's like it happens to every team. It just sucks that it's happening to them at the end of the season.
Josiah Scott looked much better,
much improved.
Again, we're talking Dak Prescott to,
I know,
Andy Dalton, Taysom Hill,
but it's still an improvement.
The interesting factor of all of this, and with the bullshit that we want to talk about on the Eagles defense, right? Let's talk about it. They gave up 40-some points to the Cowboys. They adjusted. They did not look sharp on the first 2 drives. We can all agree with that, okay? That was a long motherfucking drive. It was like a 10-minute drive.
That first drive was in the fucking
really sucked the life out of the living room.
Oh my God.
But they only gave up 20 points. So that is another adjustment, right? His bend don't break. It didn't break. It bend really fucking sharp. It was close. There were some fracture lines. The problem is,
Oh man,
and this is the biggest problem with Gannon. Well, two problems with Gannon. You ready?
ready.
One, his stupid motherfucking sunglasses. All right, I've had enough of them.
You need some fresh gear over there.
He needs something that's different than what he's got. There's 5 and below glasses that probably cost $10 because 5 and below is no longer 5 and below. It's 5 and above.
It's 5 and.
Yeah, 5 and fucking Dollar General bullshit.
Inflation.
Eggs.
Everybody.
You want to go back into this? Eggs? You want to go back into it?
Hey, listen, the prices are starting to come down a little bit.
Yeah, okay. They're just sucking you back in. It's like gas. They'll teeter it down, teeter.
Boom.
And they go, fuck you. You liked it? Here's 2 fingers in your asshole.
Oh.
And secondly, he's got to adjust out of the fucking zone. It's literally making me want to punch my eyeballs out. They showed us a plot graph, actually. A slope.
The whole X and Y axis.
Yeah. Like you were all set with the graph. They showed a graphic, and it literally against the Cowboys. Again, like it was the Saints game, but about the Cowboys. And it was like Dak was 22 for 22 against the zone and 1 for 9 against man. Why not make that adjustment?
Well, you know, it's like you can't just play man. Everybody knows that. But you also just can't play zone. And I think that
mix it up.
I think this literally like playing Madden and hitting fucking X every time.
Ask Madden.
Engage 8. Ask Madden would at least throw a blitz with man coverage in there every once in a while. Listen, I get it that he doesn't want to run too much man coverage because of what we just talked about before this.
Then don't break.
The secondary is thin. They're missing their safety. They're missing their fucking corner. They're missing their slot corner. Like it exposes them when you play man. But you have to mix it up more. As all I'm fucking saying. That's all I'm saying.
You can't engage 8 every fucking play.
No, you can't. It's not a good strategy. It's tough. You know, somebody's going to hot route right out of it, and they're going to hit a quick slant, and you're going to be dead. You're going to be done. But listen, I just think that as we move closer to the playoffs, you know, hopefully we're going to start getting guys back. Hopefully Maddox is coming back soon.
You're going to have CJ, and I think they rotate him to nickel. I really do. I think they're going to put him in nickel because he can do it.
Absolutely should do. And
you can also throw some packages out there where he's back at safety. There's no reason you can't do any of that. So the question is who becomes the other safety? And I think Epps is really, like, when I say really good, I mean like a complete safety. I can think of one game this year where I was like, yo, Epps looked like shit.
Yeah, he
but
doesn't
for the
have
most
that
part,
many
he's fucking solid and he'll lay the lumber.
Yep.
So does Scott go back to safety? Who's the next safety? Oh, Blankenship stays.
Blankenship, yeah.
Yeah, I knew I forgot him. Yeah, so that's probably the right move because I don't think, and again, going off of this, like I can think of 1 or 2 plays where Reed was out of position and he got like absolutely crunched. But that was like one of his first couple snaps, you know. So
they're gonna. That's the problem with those guys though. Like they're gonna have those missteps, right? They're gonna have like the one play where they fuck up. Like they're. And I was
thinking about this today at work. I'm like, do you know how hard it is? Like even just think about your job. Like, have you ever been 100% at your job? Like you've never missed a deadline. You've never missed a meeting. You've never started late. You've never missed 300 couplings that cost you to lose a job. I wouldn't know anything about that. But my point is, it's impossible to hit at 100% rate. But if you're hitting at 80, I mean, you're taking that, man.
I think that the whole thing is like you. It's like this is literally like the offense at the beginning of last year when all they were trying to do is throw the ball, and everybody's like, run the ball, run the ball.
And you can argue.
This is the same thing. It's just a flip. It's just the flip of that. Like, guys, play some fucking more man. Mix up some more different blitz packages. The blitzes barely ever get home. When they get sacks, it's because of the D line almost every time.
But why is the D line getting penetration?
They are sometimes, but not as much lately. And I think that also has to do with thin. They are thin. They lost Sweat again. Davis isn't 100%. I know he played a little bit, but he's not 100.
Dave, so they've had six sacks in like 4 or 5 straight games. They're getting there.
Yeah.
But my point, what I was trying to get at,
Last game?
yeah, they had 6.
Wow, it didn't feel like it.
Well, of course not, because when you see Taysom Hill get up to that line,
that's actually shocking that they had.
You think it's a fucking run, you think it's like a 1-yard play, But my point is that I think, and this is the whole thing about hating on the secondary today, which is such a weird fucking vibe to me. You can't say that every sack is because of coverage, but I would bet you 3 out of those 6 are coverage sacks.
A lot of them are. There's a lot, you can get stats.
They're doing their fucking job. Okay. I would tell you right now, if I looked at the defense, I'd give them a B. I'd give the offense a fucking D, and I would sub it up to a C because I think the coordinators and the head coach were that fucking bad. I think all 3 of them together should look in the room and go, "What the fuck did we try to do today?"
I think that game plan against the Saints was inexcusable.
You can't do that.
There's absolutely no way in the world that you can show up and be that way.
You can't.
At home,
3 straight.
What are you doing?
3 and outs. And
what are you doing?
The fucking Saints are terrible on the passing, and that's what happened. They're like, "Oh, we're gonna expose their weakness," and then you got Gardner Minshew running like this. That they ran RPOs that should not be in the fucking playbook with Gardner Minshew. Honestly,
right, but then at the same time, you have Moose, who was playing, which I usually like Moose. I usually like him, but you got Moose like, oh, look at this replay here. Minshew had the RPO wide open. Nobody's even caring about if he keeps the ball because they don't think he's going to ever do it. Yeah, like that's because he's not, dude.
That's the whole premise, Moose.
He's not going to, dude. All right. Anyway. It was bad, and I don't know why they did what they did.
I think the ego
was missing Lane Johnson that bad? Was it?
He gave up fucking 5 sacks or 6. The Driscoll character.
I mean, but they couldn't run the ball either, dude.
Driscoll is a jerk off.
Big time concern for me on the right tackle. Big time.
My thing is just put Dillard in there. You have nothing.
Well, there's got to be a reason why they're not putting him in there.
Because he's stronger on the left side or the right side. I forget where's Lane on the left, so he's stronger on the right side.
No, Lane's on the right.
Okay, so he's stronger on the left side.
So it's probably got to do with footwork or something.
And that's fine, but practice the fucking woodwork today. Because, listen, Driscoll reminds me of, who was that? Jamin Brown? Was that his name?
That sounds right.
He gave up like 25 fucking sacks when Wentz was just like dead. I just don't like Driscoll, which is funny because like I think he played pretty well last year. I don't know what his deal is. Like, is he one of those players that needs reps?
I think that they probably, I don't know. I don't even know. I don't even know what to say. I was like trying to think about this game more. And I don't even want to. It's like an experience that I just block out of my brain because it was just so bad.
It sucks that the coordinators and the coach just couldn't put their fucking heads together.
So doesn't this at least make you a little nervous about the fact that they laid an egg, or do you think it was because they went in knowing what they knew? Like, right. So you have all the things that could happen. Like the Cowboys could lose a game. The Viking, so it's all about the Cowboys now. The Cowboys didn't lose.
Yeah, Vikings are done.
Right. So the Cowboys won on Thursday night. So that doesn't change your game plan though, because like the game plan started on fucking Monday.
Should have.
Right. So did they go into that like thinking, you know what? If the Cowboys lose, we're good anyway.
No.
So right. So what the fuck were they doing? So that was their all fucking in game plan for Minshew. That's terrifying to me. I hate that.
I think a lot of it, and I've said this last year, I think you get a lot of, with the Eagles, you're going to get a lot of ego games. This was an ego game. We're smarter than Dennis Allen. We're smarter than that whole entire sideline.
I don't like that, man. Long term, I do not like that.
I agree with you, but I will say this is the first game this year that I felt that it was like this. So I just think they thought that we could breeze into this. And here's the thing. Hurts was always going to play this week. coming up right now.
So you think he's going to play?
Oh, I know he's going to play. And if he doesn't play,
I don't think he's gonna. I don't think he's gonna, man.
Really, I think they want him to
Here's
play.
why.
Dude, his body's different. If he goes out there and shoots hoop, he's gonna whoop you. Because
he's gonna whoop you. If you guys are gonna have a 3-point contest, he's gonna whoop you. If you guys want to go play wiffle ball in the front yard, he's gonna fucking whoop you.
If you're gonna eat corn dogs at a faster rate, he's gonna whoop you.
I love that little talk. It was great.
Here's
the thing. If there's any game where you probably don't need him to play, it's the one where you're playing against the backups of the Giants.
Listen.
Dress him. I'm not saying like don't make him available.
You want him not to play football for a whole fucking month? I don't like that.
How bad is this injury? We don't know.
Well, apparently it's a fucking Greg Lansky on Facebook. He's nursing a fucking shoulder sprain. Pussy. People, you should not comment unless you know what the fuck you're talking about.
The people, social media today was a very, very bad mind.
Come on my Twitch space. It's a safe space.
But listen, the whole thing about calling out Jalen because he's not a Warrior, because he's sitting out, because he's got a weak injury. You don't even fucking know what his injury is. I just burped in the mic.
Yeah, it's fucking foul. Listen,
stinks too.
I sneezed and sprained whatever this is in my back.
Yeah.
It's been 3 weeks. I can't do anything.
Kenny, Jalen is different.
Yeah.
You sneeze and strain your back. Jalen fucking sneezes and fucking shits gold coins, bitch.
Jalen sneezes and cocaine goes everywhere.
I just don't. If there's ever a game where you probably don't need him, it's this one.
Okay.
I know that sounds scary, but I'm saying dress him. I'm saying he's ready. You dress him. If for some fucking stroke of God you are losing at halftime, he plays the second half, and it's fine.
Oh, and by the way, the people that are like, the Giants will never forget what Doug Peterson did.
They don't give a fuck about that.
Gable.
They don't give a fuck about that, man.
Because if they run
on that turf up there, dude,
what do they run Saquon? What do they run Saquon? They run Saquon. He tears his shoulder,
and he blows his fucking ACL again.
The Giants could make a little noise. I don't think they go farther than one upset.
No, they can make an upset though,
for sure. I would argue
the Eagles 1,000,000% need to win this game. It's not even like.
Well, they also need to do that for the draft pick. But what the fuck do I know?
Well, if they see, but the draft pick doesn't mean as much as the 1 seed.
Oh, I see. I just disagree.
No, come on, stop it.
I disagree. I disagree.
How many spots did they lose on that draft pick because they lost?
It went to 10, so I think it was.
So they
6.
lost like 4. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Dude,
a top 10 pick's fine, but if it starts to well, now that they are,
you are talking about the number 1 seed versus the number 5 seed.
Let me speak.
1 to 5.
Let me speak. Okay, can I speak?
Okay.
I'm just saying, now that the Saints are out of playoffs, it's not as looming, because if the snakes had snuck in,
the silver snakes,
if they had snuck in, the pick would have been what, 18, right? Is that higher than 22?
That seems too hot. No,
14. What's 32 minus 14? I can't do math.
Well, no, like hold on a second.
15, 16, 17, 18, 19.
Oh my God. No, I'm just saying, it's like 18, right?
32 minus
18 or
14.
19.
Yeah,
I guess
18
19
would be the best possible pick.
Or 19, whatever. It's in that range.
That's not good news, but now they can't falter much more. So I see what you're saying. And also, I don't care if they got to play the fucking, but I do care. I'm lying. I'm just trying to make this seem less important than what it is.
So let's get through this first, and then we can talk about like playoff possibilities, right? So I think there's no way in the world that they can possibly lose this game.
Oh, and I almost threw 500 boners on it.
I know, and I'm glad you didn't.
Yeah, dude, you want to talk about clinic? Horsham Clinic, stay for one. Horsham Clinic, stay for one.
They just you dress Hurts. You dress hurt.
But
Not
I
even,
think he
is
could
this
be
like a
bad
hot
coming
take?
off the bench.
Is this a hot take? Do you want him to play?
I do. I would rather him
Or so maybe he
start.
starts and plays the first half and then doesn't play the second half.
I agree with that better because there's nothing
I'm fine
worse
with that.
than coming off the bench
I'm fine with that.
cold after halftime.
Here's what I'm not fine with.
Demoralizing.
Him starting the first half and having like 12 fucking rushes.
He shouldn't run the ball. They shouldn't run the ball.
He shouldn't run the ball 0. He should have 0.
Yeah.
What if if they put out an over under on his rushing yards this weekend, pound the under. Pound.
Hello?
Yes.
Sorry, I had to snot up. No, I agree. I think if you maybe 2 rushes max. 2 rushes max, and they're scrambled because he doesn't have any other options.
Throw it away. I don't care about
RPO
that.
should be called.
Don't stretch any plays. Don't do none of that. I don't even know. I know nothing about the Giants' backups defense. Okay, but they're the Giants' backup defense, right? So, like, come on, man. Like, maybe they're not going to be the backups. Maybe they're going to play their fucking starters on D. I don't know. People do that shit.
I have a question for you.
What? Maybe they play the first half.
At some point, everything is echoing today. At some point, there has to be some starters along the way.
Ironically, the podcast isn't echoing, which is fucking hilarious because usually it does.
Yeah, it's a full change here. Ironically enough, though, there will be some starters. Like this whole thing about they're playing backups. Yeah, some, but like you won't see Daniel Jones. Tyrod Taylor's capable quarterback, bro. He's a very capable quarterback to run all over you and make you feel stupid. Saquon Barkley's out. The backup Matt Breida's fine. He could pop off for a game. I'm not worried about the wide receivers. They're a joke. What, Kenny Galladay going to go for fucking 10 and 300? Unlikely.
No, I don't think so.
The tight ends are they're fucking amateurs. So the line might be a little. I like the Eagles sack numbers, whatever it is. I'd like that over.
Dude, the gambling line was 14.
You can't bet that. I'm sorry, you can't bet that. You bet the Giants. I don't care what anyone says. You bet the fucking Giants.
No, you just don't bet that.
14's too much for anything.
You just can't bet that at all, though, because the Giants might not score, dude.
Name me. I'm really fucking echoing. Jesus Christ. Name me a scenario where like the spread's been over 9 and it's worked out for you gambling. Seriously, I can't think of one.
Well, I bet a lot of college football. So
that doesn't count. I'm talking pros.
I mean, I can look up the numbers right now if you want me to.
The last one
they cover. It's not a lot.
The last time we argued this was Kansas City. They had it was 9.5 against Denver, and I was like, Kansas City easy. That's a lock, and they won by 3. And Denver's bad. I'm feeling dangerous.
I don't know why they can't beat them. They can't like they have problems with Denver.
It's divisional, man. Division. I hate to even say that, but division is so much different, man. It just is. It's just a different animal, different beast, as the kids say on the street.
Is there any pathway to them losing?
It's a good question.
What's the pathway to them losing? Like what is it going to take? Like, would it take like a major injury?
I mean, I would argue that
you lose a main player.
That would be the biggest loss. Let me ask you this:
aside from losing the game, you wouldn't be even worried if they're number 5 seed.
Not necessarily, because I don't think, although it's Tom Brady. And this is the problem with letting Aaron Rodgers sneak the fuck in and Tom Brady.
Yeah, because the last thing we want is Gannon going up against Tom Brady or fucking Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, I don't want to go against Aaron Rodgers. I think Tom Brady's lost almost most of him. So, although he just threw for 400, almost.
He's bringing it back a little bit. He's reeling it in a little bit here at the end.
I'll tell you what.
A couple weeks ago, I said he should retire.
I still believe that if the Eagles get the 1 seed, I still think the Cowboys are very vulnerable to lose. I just do.
So hold on. So let's play this out then. Let's say the Eagles. Let's go with the Eagles do win, right?
So Eagles, Niners, Vikings. That's the most likely scenario.
In order?
Yeah. Niners jumped them last night or yesterday.
But what about that? What about the Cowboys?
They'll be at 5. Giants are at 6.
Oh, right. You're talking about the division leaders. I got
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Okay, so then the bottom wild card, which would either be Detroit or Green Bay, because they
Or
play each other, or Seattle. And I don't know that.
ESPN is banking on Seattle not winning. They don't even have them in any of the fucking scenarios that I read.
Well, they probably need help then, because they probably are
They
lose
need less
tiebreakers.
help than the Lions, and that's why I can't understand why the Lions Packers is the 8 o'clock game.
Why do they need help? Why do they need help against the? Why do the Lions need more help than the Vikings or than the Seahawks?
The Vikings. See what you did. You see what you did, you little jerk.
Sorry.
Seattle or Detroit needs to beat the Packers. Packers eliminated, and Detroit needs Seattle to lose. So I guess Seattle and the Detroit have the same exact scenario. They need. I don't know. I gotta look it up because now
I'm looking it up. I got it.
Okay.
So,
wait.
so
Let me talk it out. Let me talk it out first. I think it's Packers win and in.
I think that is correct.
Okay, and then I know it's Seattle needs to lose, and Green Bay needs to lose for the Lions to get in.
Well, the Lions are playing Green Bay, so yeah,
I know. Yeah, so that's like a guarantee.
So the Lions need to win,
and
Seattle needs to lose.
And so then that means that Seattle obviously needs to win, and they need the Lions to lose to the Packers. But I don't know why the Packers would get in over Seattle. Or how does Seattle get in over the Packers if the Packers win?
So Seattle can get in only if the Lions win.
Oh, okay. So Lions beat the Packers. Packers are eliminated. Lions are in. Seattle wins. They bump the Lions. Lions win. They bump Seattle.
Correct.
Okay, that makes more sense then.
So they're putting more eggs into the Lions Packers basket, because that game kind of decides like
everything else.
So the Seahawks have to beat the Rams. If the Seahawks beat the Rams,
it's a winnable game.
Then the Lions, then they'll be watching that 8 o'clock game, because if the Lions win, they're in.
I think your boy might be going to the game.
The Packers-Lions game?
Eagles-Giants on your boy's birthday?
You're going to go?
I'm thinking about it.
You hate live football. Why are you going? Why are you doing this to yourself again?
This will be the most games I've ever been to.
I mean, that would be what, 5 games?
5.
Fucking hell, dude.
5. That's a lot.
I mean, listen. It should be a good time. It could fucking turn into a disaster. I don't think it will, but
it's also 425, which means
you sure you want to go to that game?
2020 Kenny remembers the 425 game against the Chargers.
Do you remember it?
I still hear about it.
You remember going to it?
Yeah, it's fair. Good point. I remember putting a lot of money on the Chargers to win that game.
So Seattle, let's say. So either way, the bottom wild card team is going to either be the Lions, the Packers, or the Seahawks.
Packers, Niners, give me that.
Give me that, right?
Yeah, we want the Packers because honestly, we don't want to play the Niners. And I don't think the Niners are that good.
But Minnesota could beat them out though.
No.
I don't know what the tiebreaker is.
They'd have to fucking lose they'd have to lose to Arizona. They're not losing to Arizona. Everyone's going to be playing.
Why do they got to lose? Wait, how do you know that they win the tiebreaker? Did they beat each other?
Yeah, I think the Niners beat them.
I'm looking. This is hard to figure out because there's just a lot of like.
Well, I mean, what are you going to research it? You're not going to research it?
I'm looking right now.
I meant like before.
They didn't play each other.
I'm pretty sure the Niners have the tiebreaker though.
Okay, but I'm saying the Niners didn't play them. So that means that goes down to NFC record, and that probably is why they have the tiebreaker, because 4 losses in the NFC. So
are they all NFC losses?
And the Niners only have 2 NFC losses.
Yeah.
So the Niners will win the tiebreaker against the Vikings if they both win. So the Vikings play Chicago, which is a fucking rollover, and San Fran plays Arizona. So most likely it'll probably be San Fran in the number 2 seed.
I think you're looking at a weird playoff scenario where, like, I think for the longest, for the most part, for the longest time, 6 out of 7 teams have something to play for in the NFC. No, oh, sorry, 5 out of 7, because the Giants don't have anything to play for, and the Bucks are still starting everyone. They said, I don't know what that means.
Well, don't they have?
They can't go anywhere.
They already locked in the division and they can't move up, so that
can't-
doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but Bowles said that they're playing everyone, and the Giants obviously will bench who they need to bench, which is smart on their end. But everyone else is playing for a position. I mean, the Cowboys play the same time the Eagles do. I guess they could pull people at half if the Eagles are losing by like 30, right?
So they're playing. Yeah, they also play at 4. Yeah,
425. Yeah. So it's very interesting. It's gonna be a fun day of like, see, that's the thing. It's like it's my birthday, so I can like hang out at home, watch everything unfold.
Yeah,
maybe
or
go to a
see, or you're
bar.
locked at the game and you don't know what's going on.
It's a tough call.
Which the games are fun. I'm not saying that, but you just miss out on shit. You know what I mean?
Oh,
We talked about that.
I've been
before.
complaining about this for years.
Yeah, we've talked about this.
I have to think on that.
I think that scenario that we just played out, I think that's the most likely scenario. And I mean, if we go down the rabbit hole of trying to figure out what happens if the Eagles somehow lose, it gets real fucked up.
Cowboys jump to 1.
Do they, or does San Fran take it?
Mm-mm. I think 1 goes through the East.
I don't think so.
Really?
I think if San Fran, I think if they tie, so Dallas has 3 NFC losses, and the Niners only have 2.
So the Niners could be 1. Think about that.
So the Niners could end up with the 1 seed, dude.
It's not happening. The Eagles are going to end with the 1 seed. Jalen Hurts will play the first half. Jalen Hurts will be benched. Everyone else, people that matter, will be benched. You're going to see a lot of Covey.
So it's what's the score at halftime? If Hurts plays, if all the starters play the first half, what's the score at halftime?
24-3.
24-3, 24-7.
Yeah.
If it's 24 anything other than like a down a
17.
touchdown or whatever, yeah, I think that's when they sit people for sure.
And then the Giants are just going to completely fold. I mean, they're not. They're going to start the buses,
even though they're at home. I think that's the most likely scenario. So then let's go into the playoffs, right? So let's just talk it out. The Niners would have to play the fucking Packers in week 1.
That's nuts.
That's crazy. They could go from being the 1 seed if things happen.
Do you lose to the Cardinals? No, you don't do that.
On purpose?
You don't do that. Get your position and you go with it.
I don't think they would do that. I don't think so. And then the other matchup would be one of the other matchups would be the Giants, and then they would play Minnesota.
Winnable game for the Giants. I'm serious. Very winnable for the Giants.
Completely winnable.
They should have won the last time they played.
And then the other game would be
Bucks Cowboys.
Bucks Cowboys again.
Listen,
that could go either way, man.
If he's okay. So the Bucks' biggest problem is their defense and their line. They got Ryan Jansen back, and you saw what it did. I mean, like fucking Mike Evans. I mean, I know that doesn't sound crazy, like it's passing, but it matters.
Well, yeah, but it gives him, dude. If you give Brady an extra half a second, like that's all he fucking needs, man. He's a fucking surgeon.
And then we wouldn't even have to play the. Okay, so then it shakes out. So let's just play it. Let's play it this way, okay?
We have to act as if we're going to get the 1 seed, because if they lose, it's like completely.
You can't really predict that. So
yeah, it's a mess.
Okay, I would say, you ready for this? Eagles play the Packers. Vikings play the Niners.
No, because the Packers would play the Niners.
Packers play the Eagles. Cowboys play the Vikings.
Okay.
Setting up an NFC
so you're saying,
championship.
hold on, stop. So you're saying the Vikings would beat the Giants?
Yeah, in my scenario that I'm playing out. Because
okay,
There has never
Setting up what? Setting up what NFC Championship game?
Eagles, Cowboys in Philly.
Oh my god.
I mean, I'd have to go to that game,
Oh my god, dude.
right? So the playoffs are a little different because like there's not that many games. It's
That would
one.
be dangerous. That would be a dangerous situation.
Oh, dude, you know how many people would be arrested?
Oh my god. That would be Twitter would be ablaze. Let me
See,
tell
and
you that.
that's my other argument about going to this game. Like if I go to the Giants game, it's like 100.
Like if you go to this game, are you gonna really go to another fucking game?
I can't.
No, not if you want to stay married.
Yeah, some would say. Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough call. You know, when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, I had the option of going to was it the Falcons first?
The Vikings game or
Yeah.
the Falcons game?
It was Vikings or Falcons. And I was like, I'll take the Vikings. Or it was at that point we didn't know who was playing.
Well,
who.
you didn't know. Yeah.
So it was NFC Championship game or divisional, right? I was like, I'll take the fucking NFC Championship game because, A, if there is an NFC Championship game, that means they lost and I had to watch it.
Yeah.
And secondly, if they don't win, I save all that money.
Yeah.
Thirdly, if they win, I get to watch the fucking NFC Championship game. And then I
Which is
pussed out
pretty
on the
lit.
Super Bowl. I'm so mad I did that.
Well, that was quite the hefty ticket.
It wasn't even the money. It was my whole thought was driving home from Minnesota and they lose.
There's a lot of thoughts there, you know.
They lose the Super Bowl in Minnesota. I got to drive that shit back home in a van. Nah, I'm out. Fuck that. I mean, I regret it now. Hindsight's 2020.
Sure, of course. You know,
I think the Eagles must get to the NFC Championship game.
I've said it before. I'll say it again. Anything short of an NFC Championship appearance,
Yep,
is a failure.
especially if you have the bye. Especially if
After a season that they had, they are in the Goldilocks zone right now. They have a quarterback that is performing at an MVP level on a rookie contract. You have every single star aligned that's possible. Now I know that some of the injuries are starting to pile, and that is the one thing that I think could get in their way. But Lane Johnson's coming back supposedly, and is he going to be 100%? I'm a little concerned about it. I'm worried that he's going to come back and he's going to play like a series, and he's going to be all fucked up, and he's going to stay out. That's what I'm worried about with him. But who knows? Who knows?
Well, we
man?
talked about this, like a 50%.
He's going to give it a go because he's a fucking warrior, man.
But at 50%, Lane Johnson is still like a top tier, player.
And I would assume that since I'm not a doctor, I would assume that this injury is the kind where he's not going to seriously, injure himself further by playing. It's like a kind of thing where, you need surgery to repair this. You can do things, but it's going to fucking hurt you. That's the choice.
Yeah, I mean, they're just going to shoot him up with a bunch of medicine.
Yeah. Wild
told
times.
you.
But I think
told
they
you.
need an appearance. They need an appearance in the NFC Championship game, man. I don't think that anything else is
successful.
And if they don't get there, it's going to be tough to swallow. And I don't, then what? Then do you really feel great about? It's so fucking weird having this conversation. They have 13 fucking wins. We saw this nowhere near this good of a season coming. And you had them at what, 11?
12.
12? Okay.
Yeah.
So you were close, but they're going to need to have 14.
Yeah.
And I didn't think they would need 14. Like, that's insane.
Well, you could argue the NFL product as a whole is down, maybe.
Is it down or is it more equal?
Well, okay, both can be true, right? More down
for sure
on the shit end of it, and better equal on the top.
Yeah, no, they both can definitely be true. I don't know. It's a good question, really. And is Purdy that good?
I don't know.
I talked to you about this too. Is San Francisco's defense that good?
Well, we don't know.
They've played 3 teams over 500 played.
But
Now, I'm not even talking about beating them. I'm talking about literally on their schedule. There's only 3 teams over 500. You play who you play who you play. I get it.
yeah,
But and it's the NFL. I get it. But, let's take it a little bit, at least with a grain of salt. Like, are they really that stifling? We don't know. And you know what? Everybody's different in the playoffs, man.
well, everything gets magnified. And also, I saw something the other day. Like it was like a Cowboys fan, and he was like, "If they would have just beat the Jags, they'd have the #1 seed." I'm like, "Do you guys think that if the Eagles needed to win out, that Hurts wouldn't have played?" Do you know?
100%. If for some reason they like last weekend against the Saints was a must win,
He was playing.
I feel like there's no way in the world that he wasn't playing.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
And that's how I feel. And maybe that's just because that's how much I trust him or whatever. Like he's in. Hurts is in, dude.
He's the guy.
He's the guy. He's our guy. He's in and he can do no wrong until he does. And then he sucks.
Till he dog fights.
Until he loses the NFC Championship game because he throws up in the fourth quarter.
Oh.
Let's just combine every bad scenario into one.
Get me started on trash nab.
Okay.
Woof.
So that's it, right? They're winning this weekend, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see. Honestly, like if they don't win, woof.
Long off season, I'm telling you right now.
I still think though, like, so it goes from winning 2
But
games to
think
3.
think about what this does though to your franchise, like as far as like the look of people wanting to be here and the people wanting to take pay cuts to be here, right? Like if you're the 1 seed and you go to the NFC Championship game and for some reason you lose by a field goal, or you make it to the Super Bowl and you win or lose, whatever, that looks way different than leaking into the playoffs as a 5 seed and then losing in the first or second round. It's not the same.
I hear you.
And it's a big deal.
I mean, the Eagles are going to look totally different next year. I mean,
I know.
100% differently.
I know, man. And people are not ready for that shit.
Hargrave, gone. Cox,
God,
gone.
That's okay.
Graham, it's a toss-up. I mean, I don't want to see him
I don't even know if he wants to play anymore.
That's what I mean. I think Kelsey will be back. He already said that.
Yeah.
I listened to the podcast. He said he's still got a couple more years in him.
I heard him say that.
I think you ready for a hot little spicy take? A little tamale?
Hit it.
I think I've had enough of Quez Watkins.
I've seen what I need to see there.
I don't think he's that good.
I never did.
I mean, he has. I mean, some could argue that he. I will argue that he is the sole reason they lost to the Commanders. And I would also argue that he is the sole reason, not the sole reason, definitely sole reason for the Commanders. And a big part of the reason they lost. Who did they play before the Saints? This is how like my brain is blurred out.
Before the Saints, that was the Cowboys, right?
Oh yeah, and he didn't go back for that ball. Like the ball got taken from his hands.
Yeah, that was pretty weak sauce.
I've seen enough of him. Give me Greg Ward.
No, fucking goddamn it! Can we draft somebody? Can we draft a fucking 3rd, 4th wide receiver? Like,
I knew you were gonna get fucking upset when I said that. So that's why I had to fucking say it. I think you could try Pasquale.
Fine. That's fine with me. I honestly thought that he was gonna play above Quez. I did.
Well, here's the thing. Like, what are you looking for? Are you looking for a guy with top end speed, or are you looking for a reliable guy?
Yeah, because they're not the same guy.
Yeah, it's like comparing Brian Dawkins and Ed Reed.
Right, and if they want Quez for that reason, then maybe they keep him. I don't know.
They shouldn't.
I agree, but they're gonna need a running back.
I'm fucking.
They don't have Hargrave.
Quez.
Hargrave is gone. Fucking
Sanders probably.
Who else is gone on the defense? Bradbury probably gone.
Who?
Bradbury.
Oh yeah, definitely gone.
Gone. So now you need a corner.
CJGJ could be gone.
You got to sign CJGJ or he gone. Now you need a safety.
They're signing CJ. I think you're
gonna. Now we're looking like Swiss cheese on D.
You're gonna sign CJGJ and you're gonna sign Hurts. Those are gonna be your 2 moves. That allows you to let Hargrave move on, And unfortunately, I mean, I would
It
love to have
sucks.
him
Yeah,
here.
it sucks. Yeah.
But
He's gonna
CJ,
get
GJ, or
paid. He's
Hargrave.
gonna get paid though.
Oh, big time. And he deserves it.
100%. I like him.
He's a fucking great player, man. Cox is a. I mean, honestly, he has put it on a little bit better, but that's because Linval, Joseph, and Sue are taking major snaps from him, so he looks fresher. If he needs. There's no way. I mean, he would need a Michael Strahan game, but if he were to get like 3 or 4 more sacks, he'd be the 5th Eagle player. With he needs 3
For what?
to be the 5th player with 10 plus sacks.
Ooh. Wow.
Never been done before. They have never done it with 4 people.
Now, how long is Reddick under contract? I just looked up. I was curious about Dickerson.
Who
He's through 24, so he's locked in on that deal, on his rookie deal for a little while.
and they're gonna sign him. They'll find a way to sign him.
Reddick is locked in through 24 also.
Dave, if they lose the if they win the Super Bowl, he's gonna shift a lot of contracts gone.
Right. See, this is the thing. If they win the Super Bowl, think this is a completely different conversation now,
Agreed.
because people want to be here. People will take a little bit less money.
Yep.
People will restructure their deals.
Sanders,
Everything changes. Sanders is gone 100. There's no chance he's here. 0%.
And I'm at -5.
It might be. Yeah, exactly.
So the thing with him, and he said the line that everyone says when they're about done. The GM knows I want to be here. It's in their court.
Yep.
Bye.
I mean, he probably does want to be here.
I know, but you know what's happening. The agent's talking to Sanders, and they're like, "Yo, bro, we're not getting any headway with the old coin boy. So you need to, expect the expectation you're going to be playing elsewhere." And listen, Sanders is an interesting topic conversation.
But who gets paid more? Who gets paid more, Sanders or Jacobs?
What Jacobs?
Josh Jacobs.
Oh, see, I think a lot of people shit on Josh Jacobs, and I think that's bullshit because I think he's a hell of a fucking running back. So
do I, and I don't know if he's
eerily
worse than Miles
similar
Sanders.
Contracts. Eerily
Right.
similar contracts.
I'm just wondering who's going to get paid more.
Sanders will get paid a little bit more, especially if the Eagles win a Super Bowl.
Okay.
It all matters on the playoff run.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
And I would venture.
I think Saquon's a free agent too.
He is, and I will literally come in my pants.
And see, here's the thing with that, because he's not gonna command the money. I don't think that some of these other guys will, because
Disagree
of the history. There's too much history there.
I know, but he solidified that. Hey, like, look at me, I'm healthy. Watch me.
Right, but he hasn't done it for a long enough time to warrant a huge number 1 contract, has he?
I think so.
Ugh.
Let me ask you this, and this is going to be tough for you. You got to put your Penn State bias away. It's tough. If the Eagles signed Saquon Barkley for a large contract, would you be upset about it?
How large and how many years?
3 years. I don't fucking know. Pick a number.
3 years. I don't think I'd be mad about 3 years. If it was like 3 years, like 18, that's too high.
Yeah, I mean, again, his contract is going to be lower than Sanders and Jacobs, and because of what you said on injury wise, I'd rather have Saquon Barkley than Sanders, and people can crucify me all they want. I know what I'm getting with a man whose calves are this fucking big.
So listen, there's gonna be 5 1,000-yard running backs available in the agency this year.
Saquon, Miles Sanders, Derrick Henry.
No.
Okay, wait. Let me just give you the ones I know. Josh Jacobs.
Derrick Henry is not an unrestricted free agent.
Okay, so Derrick Henry, Miles Sanders, Saquon Barkley, and Josh Jacobs.
That's 3, right?
Yeah. So
right. The other 2 are Jamal Williams.
Come on.
And Tony Pollard.
Okay,
Who's
so
not? Who's
Tony
nice? Tony
Tony
Pollard is
Pollard
nice.
is nice. Jamal Williams, no offense, I don't want to spend the money on him.
Nah, I don't either. And he's the oldest one.
How old is he?
He's 28. So do you get a discount because he's 28?
No. And you know what? And listen, I'm gonna say this. I think if you're Jamal Williams, you had no business being where you're at in the NFL. As good as you are, we could say, and you deserve to cash that check wherever it fucking takes you. It might take you to Oakland.
All right,
But-
but like, doesn't it say something that he's got 1,000 yards rushing on the Detroit Lions?
They have a very good line.
They've gotten much better. They have.
They have a very good line. Jared Goff's playing having a career fucking year.
Big system guy.
So I fucking hate that.
How wrong, by the way, has that been proven?
Yeah, Chris Sims, if you're listening, which I know
Yeah.
you are, because you tweeted
Nerd.
me.
Fucking
You
nerd.
fucking pussy. What a statement. Well, he put Gardner Minshew back there.
Like, bro, can you at least own your shit and say,
That's
okay,
what
I
annoys
fucked
me.
up?
That's what annoys me about these guys. Like, I would argue that Hurts has to be the MVP, and if he isn't, I'll say it: the NFL's racist.
Okay, and who wins the MVP in
Well,
in
I don't even know
space?
who's in. Like, honestly, I don't even know who's in consideration.
Mahomes, dude. What do you mean? He's the number one guy.
Josh Allen, Joey Burrows. Which, by the way, the Bengals were going to slaughter the Bills. I
was
felt
feeling that too.
Yeah,
I was
felt
feeling
that shit.
They had some fucking shit coming into that game, man.
That's what the ball looked like.
Yeah. That first drive was fucking lethal, dude. Joe, I'm talking about Joe Burrow. What the fuck are you talking? Don't go there.
But going back to your Tony Pollard.
Tony Pollard is an interesting thought.
But wait, he has more yards than Zeke?
I don't know. But
actually, you know what you proved.
I don't know. I'm talking about free agents. I don't know about if he has more yards than him.
Okay, my bad. Now I got it. The thing is, and this is the true 1,000 yards. This isn't the asterisks. 1,000 yards.
This is 1,000 yards.
Yeah. This is like if this would be real NFL season where the playoffs start next week.
And by the way, he's only played 15 games. He didn't play 16. So it's even better.
How many receiving yards does he have? I mean, he's got to be up there too.
He's got 371 receiving
I was expecting
yards,
more than that.
which is third among all of the free agent running backs.
I would argue that Tony Pollard could be the move, but he's going to command another paycheck. It's just, you know how
you're going to pay. So, like, here's the thing. So you have to decide, like, is running back a position where you need to pay? In my opinion, with the style of offense that this team has shown it needs to run with Jalen Hurts, which is the RPO or PRO or ROP or OOPPO or fucking OPP, whatever.
Now with OPP,
whatever you're doing, they need a solid running situation. Is that a veteran running back like a pounder like Josh Jacobs? I don't think so. But Tony Pollard fits the scheme pretty good.
By the way, you rounded up on those two.
Who?
I have Tony Pollard at 988 yards.
That's what I said.
You said 1,000.
I said he's gonna get to 1,000. He's gonna play another game.
Oh, no, he's actually hurt.
He's not playing?
I don't think he is. I mean,
Okay.
that might be wrong, but I wanted to look at this.
I thought he was gonna play, but that's you could be right. If he doesn't play, then he's not gonna hit it. And Jamal Williams is down by 6 yards, and
here we go. This is important to know. Seriously, you're talking about.
Hey, we haven't talked about Penn State yet. We're almost an hour in this shit.
Yeah, that's fine. We will. Zeke Elliott has 866 yards. Damian Pierce, right? Is that how you say that, or Damian? It's Damian. Damian Pierce and my boy Kenneth Walker, both rookies, could eclipse 1,000 yards this week. So it is very possible to find what you need in the draft and not worry about it. I'm fucking team don't sign him. Spend the money elsewhere. I mean, looking at these numbers, how do you say it? Travis Eaton? At
Etienne
what is it?
or Etienne.
Etienne. He's he's not a rookie, but he's a 1 year guy. I think you can
Well,
get
wasn't he
value
was hurt,
elsewhere.
right? Wasn't he hurt?
Yeah, he was. I think you
Yeah.
can get value elsewhere. I don't sign Sanders. All right, we can move on. There's a lot of value.
I mean, they're probably. I mean, the guy that I would want them to take is the guy from Texas. It's like not even close.
I mean, okay, Dave, and I want to fucking not be fat. All right, let's be realistic about our dreams and wants.
What do you mean? They got 2 first-round picks. Go get them.
I don't know. You need too much. You need help on the line, bro.
I know.
You can't.
Bijan Robinson's like the dream come true. If that could happen.
I mean,
How does it happen? I have
I
no idea. No idea how that happens, but
I just don't
All
think
right.
it could happen.
So who knows what's going to happen with that ship? That's really far down the road. There's a game ahead of them. They need to win. If you go, Kenny, God bless your soul. What's up, Rado? What's up, dog? You didn't lick it today.
My spit must be bad. So Penn State won.
So what do you have to say about your boy Sean Clifford going out in a blaze of glory?
I wanted to talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
I think he is the most prototypical Penn State quarterback.
Explain.
A 3 to 4 star recruit who is good, who gives your program stability, but can never win the big game. And by game,
what's the big game?
Ohio State, Michigan.
Okay, Ohio State and/or Michigan.
Yes.
Okay.
And he's proven that. I think the Utah game was really good, but I will argue the only real reason they blew them out like that was because Cam Rising got hurt.
Yeah, I think that's why they blew him out, but I think that they were going to win that game.
Yeah, I mean, regardless, that was a W for them, which is good for the program. A Rose Bowl is a nice win. It just doesn't mean as much now, right? But it will in 2024, right? Because that's definitely going to be one of them fucking playoff games.
Oh, hell yeah. Dude, that I just imagine, I thought about that like while these bowls were happening, and like the thought of having a home bowl game that like means something and like takes you to the next round. Like, dude, think about that. Think about the electricity at that game.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Is that how they're going to do it?
Yeah. I think the first round is going to be home games
for whoever
whoever has the higher seed. I think that the system was, I'm gonna fuck it up. I think it's 2.
Okay.
But I'm probably wrong. I don't know. I'm trying to think that out. Actually, if it's 12 teams, it might not be any. I don't know.
Well, it's not for us to figure out.
No,
but
I don't.
I would say Clifford's like a very love-hate relationship kind of guy. I don't think. I mean, he smothered every record, smashed it to pieces.
Well, he was there for 5 years.
Yeah, he was 6.
He played for 5 years.
Yeah. So that changes it a little bit, but I'm just glad it's over. I'm glad they won. I'm glad they went out on top, and I just think the other kid is going to be better. I really do.
Mr. Alar.
Yeah.
So I have the bracket, and just so we could talk about it real fast. So you have a 12-team playoff, right? 2 teams on both sides of the bracket get buys. And then so there would be four games that would be hosted by the higher seed.
Okay.
So this year it would have been, well, this was written in fucking November, so this is bullshit. I don't know what it would have been. I can't figure it out right now. But it would have been like, the higher seed hosts in the first round. Then the winner of that game would play the top 4 in each like quadrant of the bracket, right? So, 1 and 4 would be on the same side of the bracket, and 2 and 3 would be on the other side of the bracket. So they would play the winners of those games in week 2, and then it goes from there. It's going to be fucking awesome. It's going to be awesome. Now, what I don't know is if the second round is also a home game, because it kind of sucks a little bit to get the bye and not get a home game, but I'm not really sure how that's going to all work out.
Yeah,
I don't
but
know.
I would sacrifice a home game for a bye.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Yeah. It's going to be awesome. I mean, I can't wait.
One more season that doesn't matter, right?
What?
One
Oh,
more.
next year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sean Clifford, I had a love-hate relationship with him also. Mostly hate. I saw the love sometimes, and I was a believer. Like, I believed in him.
You have to.
I just didn't love him as the guy. Like,
He just doesn't have the it factor.
who's the last Penn State quarterback
Clark.
for okay.
Michael Robinson either. You could go back to the Orange Bowl where they got snubbed.
So not even you didn't like Trace?
Oh, I did. Yeah, you know what? And Trace gave me one of the greatest games I ever got to watch against
Which one?
Wisconsin.
Oh, yeah.
Down in Maryland when we were together.
Yeah, dude.
That was such a fun game. Him hitting home runs. But Trace was the same way. He just didn't have it.
Hackenberg.
I forgot about that fucking bum.
No, I think in recent history, I mean, it's got to be Trace McSorley. Even though for him, I was love-hate with him too.
You have to be. Again, so you could
Darryl Clark. I love Darryl Clark. There was no hate with Darryl Clark.
Big Darryl Clark guy.
Let's go.
I love Darryl Clark. You could say that the Sean Clifford's. This is crazy. I think because I can't think of a signature win he has, and to me, the win is against Utah in the Rose Bowl.
His last game is his signature win. You think?
Name me another one. Seriously, name me one.
None of them are popping out in my head.
And I think I don't even know who the quarterback was for Barkley when he beat Iowa that year. That they went to the Rose Bowl that year. Who was the quarterback?
Yeah, I don't remember.
But again, I remember Barkley. If it was Clifford, it was Barkley that won them that game.
Right? Did Clifford didn't beat Michigan or Ohio State
ever?
I don't think. Right?
Yeah, that's tough to me. And
it's tough to swallow. That it is.
And you could say that Trace McSorley's biggest game was the Wisconsin.
Wait, no, they did beat. Hold on a second. I had to look because I don't want to be too wrong on this. They did beat Michigan. He did beat Michigan in the COVID year.
What was the score?
I think I don't even know if he played. I'd have to look deeper.
I'm just and
27-17 in 2020. Now I don't know if he played that game. I would need to check that. They also beat Michigan. They also beat Michigan in 2019 on a primetime game where they were on College Game Day.
Do we think that beating Michigan is a bigger accomplishment than trying to compete with Ohio State at all in any sense?
No.
Okay. So, okay, fine.
Ohio State's the marker.
It has to be. I mean, and I'm not fucking Michigan. How do you lose that game?
I don't know.
Cost me 300 boners.
They shouldn't have lost that game.
I had to start gambling. I had to start gambling games I didn't even want to gamble.
Was Penn State underrated?
Define underrated.
Just not in the sense of the actual rating. I'm not talking about the actual
rankings. Where does this team fall as far as teams? Yeah, probably. But they're just the most frustrating fucking. I'm gonna call them a franchise. I know that's not the right word, but they're just the most fucking frustrating. That is honestly.
Penn State was a top 8 team.
Yes, easily,
which is pretty fucking good.
But it doesn't matter right now.
Right. In 2 years, that could have been.
It could have been a run.
You might have something. You might be cooking.
Yeah, it's interesting. Honestly,
the only losses they had were both playing in the fucking college football playoff, dude.
No, I get it, but they weren't even they weren't even in them. Like, they were just absolutely blown out by both.
No, they weren't blown out by Ohio State. The score was.
Yeah, but I mean, isn't that the fucking defining factor of a
But
blowout?
when you watch that game, they did
They
it
played
late
well for
into
3 quarters.
late in middle of the fourth quarter. They were still like within a touchdown. They didn't win. They lost. It's. I'm just saying.
Listen, I agree with you. They're a
A
top
loss
eight.
is a loss, but
They're a
yeah.
top 8 team, and you know what? Maybe James Franklin deserves a little more. Maybe we shouldn't be so miserable that he's our coach. Like, it's like, listen, I don't think he's Ryan Day, but like, what if it was someone else?
Meanwhile, they want to fucking run him out of town in
Yeah,
Ohio.
people just don't understand how good they have it.
The grass is always greener.
And also you could argue,
This was Penn State's best season in a very long time,
I agree with you 100%. It's just
and they have some promise.
they're a fucking poverty team when it comes to the Big Ten, and
Singleton's nasty.
yeah, he's so good. And this wouldn't be an issue, Big Ten, if Big Ten would just fucking switch it around, Big Ten, you big dumb idiots. If the Big Ten would just switch it for us.
I mean, they should just randomly pull teams out of a hat.
I don't know. But what happens when UCLA comes over? Where the fuck they gonna go? They gotta go west.
I say you realign every year. I say you don't have divisions. I think
Yeah,
they
I
should
agree.
literally
Free for all brawl.
play random division games every year and keep 2 rival games.
I'm with you. I just UCLA goes to the west.
They'll never do it.
No. But UCLA going to the west just means that UCLA might win the fucking division 10 years in a row. That's all that means. It's not going to change anything.
I mean, like they'll win the West.
Yeah, and then they'll lose to Ohio State in the fucking Big Ten championship game. I mean, it's preposterous.
The fact that Ohio State was as good as they were and they had one of their best wide receivers fucking opt out is wild.
Who opted out? Oh, Inkama or whatever. Or...
Yeah.
Yeah. See, this is the beautiful thing with Dave and I's relationship. He knew exactly what I was trying to say because he just knows I'm a dumb idiot.
Oh man.
Georgia just didn't play a great game.
No, they didn't. But guess what? It's gonna be different when they play TCU.
Oh, dude,
That's murder on the field.
I'm gonna dong shot it, and
listen, the spread is for 13.5, whatever. I'm telling you right now. Now listen, I could be completely wrong.
Yeah,
but I'm telling you right now, the public is going to be betting the fuck out of TCU, like betting the fuck out of them because exactly what you just said. Georgia didn't look that great. They looked kind of weak against Ohio State. TCU had moxie. They went toe to toe with Michigan and just outran them, and the whole time boat raced them.
There's no fucking way that Georgia
No.
doesn't win back-to-back championships.
I am going to be 1,000,000% shocked.
You know what I think about TCU being in the title game? You ready for this?
Oh, it's been a while.
That's what I think of them.
Welcome back.
And that fucking what's his name? Duke.
Yeah, Duggan.
Ooh,
Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Yeah, every time I look at him, that hurt. I'm gonna lay here. I'm gonna lay there.
Tell you what, he can get moving for a big white boy.
Okay, this is Zach Wilson. Mark my words. This is Zach Wilson, Jalen Reagor, all over again.
I can see that.
He's not. I'm tired. I'm tired of these piece of shit quarterbacks.
What piece of shit?
I mean, Zach Wilson mainly comes to my mind. You know who's interesting is Sam Darnold, though. He looks pretty. I mean, he's slinging the rock.
Sam Darnold.
If I'm a Panthers fan, I know they need to draft, and I don't know what they really need because I don't fucking care about them. But I see what Sam Darnold can do for another year. They fucked up by getting Baker Mayfield. If that was Matt Rule, went with what he had.
I agree. I agree
Sam
100%.
Darnold and Baker Mayfield, same person.
But Baker Mayfield doesn't look horrible.
I mean, Sean McVay can make any quarterback look good. He could make Joe Flacco look elite.
Okay, so you think it's the system thing?
Absolutely. But see, and it's funny when you say that. Like again, like I think the system works for backups, and I don't think there's a system quarterback that's a starter. I really just don't. I think you need
I don't know if that's the case. I think it might be there's no elite starter that is a system quarterback, I think I would say.
deal. That's fair. That's a good point. And
Because
this is what I'm gonna
and the reason why is because they are the system. Like, they are.
exactly. And you know what's interesting to me? And the Eagles, I think, kind of punt passed on this one. They probably should have been trading for a Tyrod Taylor to run the backup quarterback.
So they can run the same playbook.
Yeah, because like what you're doing with Minshew, and listen, I think Minshew, if what I see in the NFL is who's the caliber of
He
starting,
could probably start next year.
oh, absolutely. But
Yeah, dude.
they need a backup that fits their system. They just kind of got, you know. I would go after someone for sure next year that can get it done, just in case.
Well, Sean
Because I think if
Clifford
they had the RPO, like if they could run the RPO,
really run it. Like, for
really
real.
run it, even with the backup, even at 50% RPO'd, they win that game. I would venture to bet that if Hurts started that game, they win that game 100 times out of 100 times. I don't see them losing. I just don't.
Like 100% Hurts.
No, fine, 75% Hurts. I still think they win, bro. There were so many third and shorts, fourth and ones, fourth and twos that
Right,
Hurts
but he
would've-
can't run that though.
Well, why not?
If he's 75%, you want him running up the fucking gut?
Again, like we're talking Saints, I guess.
I know,
right?
and
So,
we're
like,
also
it's
talking about completely hypothetical shit.
yeah. So like to me, yeah, I don't fucking care. They got to get the bye. They're gonna get the bye. This is a long fucking episode.
Yeah. Well, listen, Sean Clifford is gone.
Do you think
And
he gets drafted?
yeah,
I think so too. I mean, honestly, if you look at Penn State quarterbacks,
fifth round, sixth round. What?
Yeah.
You know?
Penn State's not like a quarterback farm by any means, but they have the average, pretty decent, okay, can't win you the big game. Big Ten should restructure. They have that quarterback, and I think every Penn State quarterback that I can think of, like me being alive for, has been drafted.
I agree.
So he'll get drafted.
But
Cardinal.
like, you know, like who who in the Big Ten does
What?
have a great quarterback system?
I mean, you could argue Ohio State, right?
No.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Terrell Pryor was a wide receiver.
You know, like Fields maybe is going to turn into that.
I think
Stroud
Fields is good.
Stroud looks good. I don't know what he's going to be
Yeah.
in the pros though. Who knows? You know,
Well, see, but Ohio State could be turning the.
they could be turning the corner. They could be.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they're going to turn the corner before Penn State would.
And imagine that they're turning the corner. Look at what they are already, and they're
Yeah.
turning a corner. Jesus Christ, what the fuck?
Well, I
man?
mean, you got Marvin Harrison's child on your team.
Yeah,
You know how good Marvin Harrison was. Like people don't
oh,
understand
he was
how
legendary.
he was really fucking good, and he had like that 80s mustache. Like he looked like he
Yeah.
could have been in an Old Spice commercial.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, I think that this podcast is dead for this
Yeah.
weekend. But the Eagles must win, and I think they will. And you know, I think that we'll be talking about the number 1 seed next week.
The number 1 seed. It's got a pretty ring to it, doesn't it?
It does, but man, I'm telling you, for a team with 13 wins, for a team that was 13-1,
Well, it just doesn't seem probable that we're having this fucking conversation.
yeah, it's unbelievable, really.
Yeah, but hey, look, I'm here for it, and we all talked about this.
And are the Cowboys good?
No.
I don't know.
Nah,
I don't really know.
It depends. Are they playing man or are they playing fucking zone?
That's a good point. All right, Kenny, if you go to the game this weekend, be safe, have fun, and either way, happy birthday on Sunday.
Thank you. Thank you. 33.
The big trip, the big dub 3.
33 and feeling flirty.
That's not how that works. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't care. Fucking...
All right. Hey, like us, share us, continue to
do the damn thing, you little bitches.
About the podcast. We love it. And go Birds, as always.
I want my hoodie back. I
Hey,
want my
did we
windbreaker back.
We didn't even, this is sacrilege. We didn't even talk about the Sixers. It's ridiculous.
Who cares?
It's ridiculous.
It's not time yet.
My God, we suck. Goodbye.